just gotta wait for YouTube. All right. Hello and welcome. I'm Stooge, and today we are going to be continuing the Great Ace Attorney. Give me just a moment while I make sure my now live notification got out on my Discord, which you can join here. And then we will get started. I apologize for the late start. It's been a morning. Seriously, Pokey? Have some pets. Great, thanks. Yeah. Nothing like waking up expecting to have one amount of money and discovering that you have significantly less than that amount of money. That's the wrong button. There's the right one. All right, here we go. I'm gonna turn this down because that seems like it's gonna be very loud. Continue. Yes. Episode 2: The Adventures of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. What?
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which she referred, Wilson.
What?
In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
So for those that don't know, Sherlock Sholmes is a parody character. Hold on, I gotta bring that back up after we get through this cutscene.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
What is...
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait!
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What?
Don't be absurd. This is murder. And in cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
Because it wasn't a locked room.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Why does she speak with a British accent?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
All right. Okay, so Sherlock Holmes is a parody character of Sherlock Holmes after the writer was told that he could not effectively produce oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember what it's called. My brain has suddenly just gone poof. This sometimes makes me feel aloof. Fan work. No, not fan work. That's related, but no. Help me, Pokey. You're my only hope. But Pokey's just letting me wallow for a moment, I hope. Okay. Fanfic. That's the word. So anyways, yeah. The guy was writing a fanfic, basically, of Sherlock Holmes. My brain just... and Doyle, or his estate, I forget which, put a stop to it. And so Sherlock Holmes was born. And Sherlock, as you can gather, is a bumbling idiot. Since it's a locked room mystery, completely ignoring the fact that, well, actually, no, they would have had to break down the door. So maybe it was a locked room mystery, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? But now we get to join our character.
Oops.
There we go. My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Yeah, you're about to get blamed for murder again. Wait, I can't move. Ah, what the? Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Mystery room, cops doing a drug bust. What's the difference, Oh, so you wake up now. We have to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You? You found me then? Da. We found you. And now you pay, criminal. I'm not... No. It's supposed to be Russian. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, sorry? Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find the cold, how cold the ocean is. Handcuffs are wardrobe. Handcuffs and wardrobe must be kinky. What the heck, Demo? Demo, be careful. No, I'll tell you everything. And there's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Oh, wrong voice. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? And here I thought she'd be on my side. Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Oh shit, Kazuma was killed. And god damn it. I should have known. All right, so now we have 2 requirements for a right to become an attorney. First, they must be accused of murder while in college, a murder that they didn't commit specifically. 2, their mentor must die after completing their first case, which in the case of Ryunosuke was also his murder trial. You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's belt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. His life? I don't know, man. I just work here. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you are doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs, surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No! I can't scream no without sounding silly. In fact, nobody can. Just ask Hayden Christensen. Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get into trouble? Don't you find it funny being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. Thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Oof. Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. Unless I get killed. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why? Why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point, surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew that what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. George Lucas couldn't write dialect, so the actor just improvised. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there. I think it won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I'll tell you what. Why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe door since you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. Yeah, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best... Sorry, wrong voice. But murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs, they think I did it. They think I'm Kazuma's killer. When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole, window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Well, I see what I was knocked out with. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Oops. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san. You have to tell me. You already have an explanation for the locked door, actually. I have a couple. One is the vent up in the top there. The other is string. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. I doubt it's the vent as well. But we won't know unless we see other cabins. That's true, yes. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake up before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin as I have every day so far on this voyage, but this morning he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried. So I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. Does Kazuma even speak Russian? Or no Russian? I'm gonna say probably not. And the white tape there shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too. Trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, all right. Ugh, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. How could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible. No. That would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted to go to England together. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma-sama, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? Ryunosuke must be the worst, have the worst luck ever. Since every time, or since he's constantly accused of murder. It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself? Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing, that he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I'd ever seen it before. So I can stop leaning forward constantly. Susato-san. I'm sorry that we kept it secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. He never meant to be so bad. He never meant to be so bad to you. One thing he said that you would never do. A look from him, and you would fall from grace, and that would wipe the smile from him, from his face. The murder was the heat of the moment. Tell me what your heart meant. The heat of the moment showed in your eyes. What the heck, Demo? Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't stir when Kazuma was killed. Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing. I rewrote Asia Heat of the I'm not familiar with it. My head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this. Ugh. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Hold on. Okay. I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Doesn't I? What the? That was a Susato takedown. A Susato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in the court of law. Ah. I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not the guilty of this awful crime. Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same thing last night as well. Ah, yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the door on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me. I'm sorry, no. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am? A magician? A magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please, don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Okay. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. All right, examine. These are the rules of passage for travelers aboard the SS Byoria. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I mean, in this circumstances, I guess he'd be more of a pet. I can't decide. Well, one thing's for certain. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? I'm sure you're careful to look around using the direction pad, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do what we can. Let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that the Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. My question is this: how was he able to have his sword in his cabin, considering that his cabin, or that it is definitely a dangerous weapon? What do you think of this? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Natsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? And the mark beside it, what is it, I wonder? It has sort of a brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere in the cabin. Oops. I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. That's not what I find, whatever. That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-san did... Whoops. Okay. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Alright, raise your hand if you think the chicken was drugged. Okay, that's all part of the same thing. Seigi, the Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy was always a reflection of his heart. Yet you... Can you really look at those characters without feeling shame knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship? Now you're going to bring that up, are you? Can't win. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they're all toppled in the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over, well... Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked. And everything mown down at once. I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt that. Then perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. You wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue? Could these things have been thrown about? Could these things have been thrown about? Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Helps if I read the sentence correctly. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see see a mess. Why did she do that? Now she has messed with evidence. These books are provided for the entertainment of whoever is occupying the cabin, I suppose. Sato, not Sano. Susato-san. These books are provided for the entertainment of whoever is occupying the cabin, I suppose. And they must be well looked after. You mustn't damage any of the ship's property. But it wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are a mess. Alright, let's make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh. When I went for help, the crew forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy. And it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used the needle and thread to draw the bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself, but the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possible way of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Alright, let's make Perhaps I should see what the Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see. Sorry? A criminal asking an investigator for information about his crime. Very funny. Oh. It wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. Well, so are you. He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Yet, of course not. Now, back the corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Just a bit. Oh, let's get the mouse out of the way. Okay, you're supposed to remind me of stuff like that. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah, yes, I see it says "this way up" in Japanese. Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear. Being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. I'm allowed to not notice. Ah, that is true. Well, it was less painful than the Susato takedown. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. And then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his hand in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some sort of clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner. I can't read your writing. I don't think he could either. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? Then what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Perhaps I should see what the Russian crewman makes of the... Okay. This is just the same thing again. You can't read Cyrillic either? There was a time when I could have at least sounded it out, but I wouldn't know what it meant. I'm sure. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it into his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Though I have a friend that can, if you want to read it early, I can poke them. It's what I do best. Nah, you don't. That's okay, Pokey. Which means what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened. Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hiya! That's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important, something relevant to the case? All right. I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Alright, let's see. I've looked at that. Yep. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, well, it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to, you're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so the rain and spray don't find their way inn when the seas are rough or something like that. I suppose maybe that's it? Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... You've noticed the man too, have you? I've no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhara-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? I want to know if she actually knows who that is. Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings. I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry, what do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if not mistaken. They're parodying how Holmes is introduced to Watson. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in the most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. I reiterate, bungling. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? You are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? Sato? I don't know why he's trying and failing to make JoJo poses. I know nothing about JoJo, though. What? And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. There's no way I... Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? What, that was what, May... Let's see. Let's see what he's got. Afghanistan? No. Russian? No. Assassin? No. 16 victims? No. Revolutionary? No. Moving toward foreign climes? Yes. Was there anything I missed? Let's see. I said that. 16 victims. Oh yeah, blowing up the English tower, or blowing up the Crystal Tower in England? No. Merciless? Also no. So that's what? 12.5% accuracy out of 8. Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. That's still deduction. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon observation of trifles, you see? I announce my findings with brassy certitude. Yes, brassy. It tarnishes quickly. And more often than not, I'm wrong. I mean, right. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes. So it's really you? The actual Herlock Sholmes? The actual Herlock Schmuck? The very same. The inimitable actual Herlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world, Naruhodo-sama. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. No, but he's a smuck. A schmuck. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him what he's deduced. Did you not listen to him? He got 1 out of 8 right. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. He just... Oh, Susato. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Considering that you claimed an unconscious man and the wardrobe was the... person who carried out the crime. Alright, let's find out what Herlock has to say. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German. Herlock, was it? No, I have no her. I have hair, so please call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Ranced magazine, full of wonderful stories and interesting articles from Great Britain. I feel like this is a combination of Louis L'Amour and well, actually, this is probably where a lot of this is probably how a lot of Louis L'Amour stories started, is serials and magazines. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah yes, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then. Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backwards. Backward? My trusty biographer records all of my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Nope, sadly, he's presently keeping shop in the grave. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of the cursed royal crown. Really, I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin, all these things are data. Right. So, I think that's because in Japan, they don't have, in Japan, they didn't have him copyrighted. Whereas in US, England, and most of the European, Western world, it's only relatively recently that Sherlock Holmes entered the public domain. I imagine Dr. Wilson was actually Dr. Watson. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. You got him before I could, Pokey. Sometimes it gives me the option, sometimes it doesn't. Yes, you deserve pats. I just mean that it's supposed to be the character, not someone based on the character. Well, that's why they chose Sherlock Holmes, because Sherlock Holmes was also, like I said, a Victorian character based on Sherlock Holmes. Although this is more keeping with Sherlock Holmes than Sherlock Holmes. But yeah, it wasn't until relatively recently that Sherlock entered public domain. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Fun fact, the first Holmes story that the writer of this game read was actually a Sherlock Holmes one. He read the originals later. Maybe that's why Sherlock is such a bungler in this. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their numbers, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah! The very moment I laid eyes on the scenes, two facts were immediately apparent to me. All the 2 crew members. 3. There were 3. Oh, really? 2 facts, you say? Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. Oh, gosh darn it. Keep hitting the wrong button. What 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. 2 fact. Or not 2 fact. But first, let us be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering the escape of the culprit out of the question. What this is? This is a roughly 18-inch, or here, I happen to have my metric tape measure here. Not quite 8, a bit more than 18 actually, but call it 45 centimeter. If I can manage to. It's hard to measure because, 45.5 centimeter or 455 millimeter long drill bit. Watch out who you show that to. They might label you a heretic. I know. And that's perfectly okay. Especially now. Anyways. Or they might say that I'm not a citizen and deport me someplace. It's a drill bit for doing wiring. So at both ends, you have a small hole that you can use to tie string to and pull wire. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. It's not hollow. It is not hollow, but it has, let's see, there we go. Yeah, there you go. It has a small hole right here on this end. And let me see. Right there on this one. So you can put a string through it. And when you pull the drill bit either through or out, you can pull the cable. It's not a hollow drill. See? Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That's a Russian word for wardrobe. Alright. I doubt that's Russian for wardrobe. That I'm gonna look up. I bet Pokey's already done it, but I can't see it. No, that is indeed Russian for wardrobe. Okay, not sure how to use that, but let's focus on the game. I am focused on the game. This is how I'm pressing the button to go between this and this. Do you really think that Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? I'm not, maybe, I don't know. There you go. Initially, I considered garderobe. Maybe the name of the killer, a certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe. The wardrobe there, at least. There you were found, Mr. Naruhodo, sleeping soundly. Drug soundly. Quite so, I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. You still don't. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been added to the court record. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russian before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing Russia and all that. Oh yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. The truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Certainly, if it interests you. How many times I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian? Your deduction just now, Mr. Potter. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part, who was going to blow up the Crystal Tower in the UK. Oh yes, the more sordid details. It was fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary vile Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port of call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Cyrillic is terrible. Yeah, if this was nearly 40 years ago, I'd be at least able to pronounce stuff. When I was in 3rd grade, I was taking Russian. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. Oh yeah, I didn't fully... The vessel, and then, okay. I did read that. Cool. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, violent Bolshevik. No, 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 how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man, just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Yoshinoi. Please. And I might add, your name does not appear on this ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Oh yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he's plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Yep. Here, take the paper for yourself as a little memento of this great deduction. You knew who didn't know. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all of that is interest to me within the pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. The article about the revolutionary has been entered in the court record. Blah, blah, blah. I gotta remember. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eyes over it sometime if interest takes you. You may need someone to interpret. Though you may need someone to interpret. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Noruhodo-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? Oh, you guessed Ryu didn't know where Afghanistan is? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. So this is what I'm going to say. Okay? Herlock obviously knows that he doesn't speak Russian. Otherwise, Ryunosuke wouldn't need someone to translate it or interpret it for him. Therefore, the fact that he knows that Ryunosuke is not Russian, but yet he keeps insisting on it for this grand whatever of his. What the heck? Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? Because they're not in your native language, and most of the time, unless it's something of noteworthy that you've been repeatedly exposed to, you're not going to remember it. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. And how much is that in in a meaningful currency to our character? Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea. I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Susato's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. An article on the back of the Russian newspaper, the headline reads, "Renowned prima ballerina." Yep, okay. The article has been entered in the court record. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with the fearsome revolutionary. It reads, "Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yes, you told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale. Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. He despises his beard to that degree. He need only shave this. If he despises his beard to that degree, he only needs to shave it off. I'm not quite certain that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. All right. I assume that there's nothing. Oh, okay, I can magnify. Where'd that 32 come from? I thought I saw a 32. Maybe it was just like that. Enhance! I can't enhance this article though. Cast your eyes over some, yeah. Though you may need someone to it. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. I'm really confused why nobody is calling out the fact that he acknowledges that they can't read or write they can't read or speak Russian. What were you just investigating? Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma, oh yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful, anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in pinning some text. London diary, Kazuma was keeping the notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic, and something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Nope, she's gonna fawn and ask what was written. Susato-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear to be the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing, pray? Pray, be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. So, what was all that showing off about before then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into the court record. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writing in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation. And if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are curious breeds. Our minds rebel against stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clearer soon enough. Do you think, perhaps, that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no? There's no point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. And so, what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. He caused me to drop my fidget and tool. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Good pun. Good pun. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Hmm? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? Ugh. As if you gave me any choice over the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish in here first, don't we? Let's carry out examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea! The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no, it's just the crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes, what can I do for you? Now he wants to bring tuberculosis to the world. I recognize that face, but it can't be. It is. I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew aboard this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. What the heck is going... I don't know. Oh, you know what it was? It was probably my phone vibrating. And as a result... Whoops. Special orders. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes. And why are you dressed as a member of the crew? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Osogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How? How could that even have been possible? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night, every day. I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I mean, to be fair, an inspector is not the person I would want to be the bodyguard. I want somebody actually trained in it. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector? So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. Well, if you must know, we're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? We've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. How much evidence did you steal this time? Would it be possible, Hosonaga, would it be possible to give me something to work with? Do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how... There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me with your innocence, Naruhodo-san, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence. It's just the same as when you are in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the Yeah. And choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use. So evidence, what the heck? Zip. So, I'm a bee now. So evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is that it? All right, yes. I think I might know what we can use. Interesting. It's only here that it does it. That's fun. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Okay, I'm curious. Let's look something up. Okay. I would think that he'd be able to identify a snake. Yes, a speckled band. That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right. So if we can investigate there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. All right then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. Wait, was I reading as the room? Yep. Nope, it was Hosonaga. Interesting. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Why am I having such a hard time with this name? Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last. Move. All right, let's see what we can find out. That's a very rudimentary looking mousetrap. 9th of January, 7:48 a.m. SS Buria. First class cabin passageway. Phew, finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yep. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Wow, why is she in steerage? Really? Must be awful. Ship protocols. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. I think his shirt might be a bit short. What do you think? The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to this ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know. But the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please, don't give me that pitying look. This looks like a plan of the SS Buria. It shows each deck. Look. The Buria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan. The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth. Many, many times larger than the ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Probably can't look at the protocols. Give me a moment. That's a huge book on top of the table there. And there's a pin next to it. Pretty sure they don't float on anything other than magma. I think you are probably right. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Should I have a look through it? Should I have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. That, or turtles. You don't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san. Even to a sailor. But here's the thing. He was actually complimenting the handwriting. Interesting. Strega sent me a link to one of the panels at PAX, which sounds very interesting. Developers and red teamers compare how actual lockpicking works versus how lockpicking in video games works. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Oh, wait. Okay, good. That was the right voice. Okay. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer! That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third-class lady's maid! Oh. We seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Susato-san. Maybe. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. Well, I know how his name is pronounced. I am senior crewman. Beef stroganoff. You also look like your special forces. But the paint didn't agree with your flesh. Phew. The best thing is to just avoid eye contact, I think. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area. Here we are the finest part of the Brewer steamship. For very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government official, kings and queens, traveling in secret. Many important persons. That's why I'm always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganov is not an animal. Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Osogi's currently occupied? Da. Susada-san, you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes, or no. Let's see. What was no? Because 9 is German. Dos Bedonios, goodbye. I don't remember, no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Osogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman. Grimsby or Grimesby? Let's see. Ow, that hurt my ear. A Western gentleman? I gotta figure out why that's doing that. Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. It's Niet. Yes, Niet. Thank you. That is correct, Pokey. It's Niet. I can't believe I forgot Niet. And it's spelled Y. It's like that. Also, he looks like a faded barber pole. That's why I was saying Special Forces, because if you think about the classic Special Forces... Oh, God. I feel like he might be vaguely based off of Schwarzenegger. Except for Russian versus Austrian. Give me a moment. Maybe not. I'm not seeing the image. I'm not seeing what I was expecting to see. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there was anyone there. Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important, is that right? That is not your business. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganov? That is Senior Crewman Stroganov. Da, all the time. So criminals like you cannot come in, or get out. I wonder, did you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad, but about Student Boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Yet. Susato-san? Did you understand that? It was clearly a no. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way. I said no! Sorry. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, all right. Bulkhead to second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as English say, when pigs fly. When the pigs fly. Actually, how old is that idiom? I don't know. Anyone know how old that particular idiom is? Yes, I understand. Good, now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Alright, let's see. Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we had plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it's called, cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what it tastes like. Oops. I wonder what that tastes like. You can't eat that, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap on your shut on your fingers. Really? But, I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Or you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Alright, let's look at the door. That's the way to the second class area of the ship. Is something wrong? I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there. No, I started it with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Why is that adding a buzz to my S's? This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Crickets. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Okay. Well, let us move. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. This is, yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. Is there anything else in here that I can investigate? Oh. Apparently, I thought that was a part of it. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-san. No. It's called being drugged. Excuse me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little bit outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see. The criminal asked prison guard to help him escape. Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Nyet. You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay. All right. There's no point in trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure. And yet... Nah, he'll have nothing to say about that. Alright, so what have I missed? There must be something I've missed. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's cabin. Sorry. Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way. 500 and... How many cabins are there? That sounds awfully large. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it's set alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, this I have to see. What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it. But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring the vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop, this ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Oh, so I just had to trigger that flag. Okay. What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream, it must have been a woman. Stand aside! I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes! I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. 9th January. SS Buria. First class cabin, number 2. Who are you? A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there is nobody but me in this cabin. Oh. Thank you. Strega has brought me pizza. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But what was that scream? But in that case, who just screamed? Oh. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? I had to read it correctly. Get out, all of you, now! Interesting. Also, he looks like a faded... Oh, no, that was previous. Please excuse the intrusion, but... Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylett, right? I believe? I'm all over the place. Yes, that's me. And you are... I am the one and only... The actual Sherlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I am a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. Okay. Wait, that's still... No, it does make sense. The rooms are mirrored. Interesting. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be as bold to ask you to open that small traveling case? That itty bitty traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not, traveling inside one's trunk? Don't look at me. Oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. The case just shook. Leave now, otherwise I call the stewards. So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylett. Hmm. Mm-hmm. It won't give me a summary of it again. Her name was, Nikoliva Pavlov? Or something like that? I think you mean the strange Russian woman. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly seller returns. What the heck are you... I mean, start here. What do you think you're doing? Ah! This is my cabin. Get out! Can we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps? No! Huh. What a pity. I think we're out of luck. I think you're right. There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do. I agree. But there may be something someone else can do. Maybe, perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott. Alright. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. No, you said Mr. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was arresting, of course. Resting? Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need call on my great powers of deduction into service. Oh. And it would seem the hour is upon us. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what that is? What is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why, the truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh, yes, please. Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed betrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is this fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right. And Mr. Sholmes, I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on the first meeting, but I once read it's a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh. I must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates for all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have to reach two incontrovertible conclusions. There's no need for the jury to retire. What do you mean? Number 1, your true identity is that of a villain. I mean, technically. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. No. Are you not? Huh? And number 2, the other conclusion I have drawn, you are, at this very moment, no less than in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Ah! Oh, Naruhodo-san. I never imagined that we would witness one of Mr. Sholm's great deductions with my own eyes. And you never will. You never will. That was a great deduction. Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What an ineffable twaddle. Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. It's like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylot's face. Oops. Hold on. I can hardly believe it. But all the color has drained from Mr. Roylot's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. No, not really. How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So, do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. The great deduction, the game is afoot. Topic 1. Old man's identity. So the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? To cut something. The answer is, of course, staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using those shears to cut away a copious beer you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to get rid of your most magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front page article, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. No. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary, Villain Bolshevik. Please Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. Wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime over there. Yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see? And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. Blah, blah, blah. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. No, I think it's under the hat. It's time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps? One slight enough to fit therein? Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless okay, I cannot read that. I don't know what it translates to. I'm sorry. Betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper, where there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page, renowned prima ballerina of Novovik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Elementsky. For some reason, I don't think that's elementary in Russian. Or any of the Baltic states. Or Russian, or former members of the USSR. CCCP. Susada-san? That wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know? But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes. Could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's this newspaper article. There's the newspaper article. I think we've had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall our discussion earlier. And at the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness, Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina, indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear to be too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you pushed really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out of the case. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain lithiness to in their bodies. Vinegar. For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. Ugh, this whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Mr. Sato. It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some keywords in his deductions. Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure we could, if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction. Precisely the thought I was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. And you, my good fellow. Sorry. Take a moment and look at your wrists. My wrists? Where are your handcuffs? How did you... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel! And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? Staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away your copious beard. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut a beard? No, those are fabric shears. I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try switching a key word here, Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters. Oops. Let's try switching a key word here, Mr. Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard he intended to use the shears on. Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deductions better. Then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san. Why am I the one doing something about this? Well, anyways, let's see if there's anything we could even switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? What's this? It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks. No, the color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? And how is it growing from underneath his thick black hair? Well, yes, that's true. It's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising. Something's definitely not right here.
Yes!
You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. They're both doing it. Yeah. Yeah, now they're both doing it. You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one's still very much in her youth. Oh no. If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begs this: why would you desire to get rid of these rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Yet no. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea that the old man was really a young woman in disguise. Did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise. Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry. You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business. Not strictly Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on the next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now. No, that's true, given that Mr. Roylott is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be the merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. All right, I'll do my best.
Yes!
The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article of about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of Novovik's Ballet's prima ballerina, Miss Nikolina Pavlova. You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Now, as for my second conclusion, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime is over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies within the furtive glance falls. Lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crimes sits before our very eyes. Yes, in that traveling case. This woman is the ballerina. She's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside the traveling case. No, that's right. Seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what's the crime this young woman is apparently committing? Huh, I can see I'm gonna have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake. Again. You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes? Stop it! Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what the woman was up to.
Yes!
Nope. When people want to conceal the evidence of their crimes, where do they put it? If you want to hide a tree, you put it in the forest. If you want to hide paper, you put it in the waste paper basket. Yes, the proof of your crimes is here, probably. That deduction was wanting in every way. Yes, I was wanting you to hear it. I'm quite proud of it. I find myself wanting never have to never have heard it. I find myself, I'm quite pained by it, in fact. No, sorry, I'll try again. Forms, that's... How can we be... crimes come in so many different forms. That's the thing, how can we be sure? Mr. Sholmes' observations are quite beyond question. Definitely let our eyes stray to something, but that something will explain everything. We must look around very carefully and try to work out what she was looking at. Alright, I'll investigate the area more thoroughly. And I agree, there must be more here that will prove... Okay. Oh, there it is. I don't know why I didn't... Oh well. Wow, look at this dazzling tiara. I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, do you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on. What? Me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful. Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently.
Yes!
The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovik Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, as an item worth 20,000 rubles, in summary, The crime you have committed is theft. Oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully, taking their precious tiara with you. I have no one, no family, no friends. I'm all alone, and I need money. I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an earl of Prussia? It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. All right, I will tell you everything. There is no point to hiding it now. Come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason that you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlov? My dear girl, there is no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me. We are not well suited for a life of crime, are we? Your careless, I don't know how to say that, betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answers. The reason why you refuse to open your case is written in one of these books. Yeah, okay. Whoops, god dang it. I screwed that up. He's completely changed tack with his deduction now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all of this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem like likely that there's a reason this young woman doesn't want to open her case. Would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true, but still, Miss Pavlov certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. And there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. It must be somewhere in the same area if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree. That's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Ah, it looks like these are all the same books that we have in our cabin. I suppose the steward likes to make sure passengers have plenty to read for the long voyage. And have you noticed how all the books have fallen over just like in Kazuma-sama's cabin? It's almost like somebody's taking a sweep pass at them. Maybe Miss Pavlova? While she was practicing her ballet? Anyway, the point is, we don't have time to look through all these books at the moment. We couldn't even if we wanted to. They're all in Russian. Well, that's a relief. Let's try our luck elsewhere. This is a charming little picture, isn't it? What is it? Someone climbing a steep mountainside? Or a descending one, it seems to me. When you've been on the flat sea for a while, maybe you start seeing hills and mountains and everything. That's the range of motion. The range of motion. These are rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. Oh, that's why. The pet in the case, of course. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their pets are strictly forbidden. Yep. I wonder what happens if we break the rules. Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment would be severe, Naruhodo-san. You'd probably be left to drift in the freezing cold ocean, or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end. So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I?
Yes!
Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other kinds of dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you're refusing to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time. And no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord, unless it's a snake. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel rules of passage, a pet. Deduction complete. Elementary. Oh boy. That's gonna get old. Not really. So clearly you aren't who you said you were. No, I am not Grimsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. The Buria is a huge ship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave it well alone. So if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. Oh, is that what's going on? Maybe, I doubt it, though. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they'd come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself, so no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man, I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut off all my hair as fast as possible. So I picked up the scissors in my hand, and at that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? So there's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? You were right. It's my dear friend inside, my only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone if the captain finds out. If you say to any of the crew. Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night. Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something Mr. Sholmes' great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes, what? Observe your wrists. Ah! Your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When? And why? Hold on, I need to... Okay, it's better again. There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment. Can't it? Really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh, that's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking. Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps the steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened. Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. See if we can see her friend. So the friend you mentioned inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious, then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? No, it's a kitty. Maybe an adorable little rabbit. Huh. You credit Russia as a land of small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? May as well ask. I have no idea. Huh. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of your young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. No, I don't think it's a snake. Really. Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. No, I bet you it's a cat. So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that. Well, it would appear the friend's identity is as closely guarded as the secret is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. Yeah, running away, are you? Alright, let's just present evidence. We'll still ask her about... Well, actually, I should do that first. No, that's not what I want. There we go. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovik Ballet. Yes. I'm traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I wish to start a new life. You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovik Ballet gives us only a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of this ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a more intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. What this conundrum is... To what conundrum? I'm not sure, but... to what conundrum? I'm not sure, but... Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. That being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Buria stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Now that I think about it, the crewman passed outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. And An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry, what was that? It is how the Russians described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens because I'm an angel. X. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Sholmes once said, I can never resist a touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlov is the same. Okay, that's a lot louder than I thought. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. Destiny. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyways, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Now we will show her the evidence. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes. And he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then, a few minutes later, 11:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? I don't understand. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentioned joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh! Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No! I don't know anything. Oh. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott. Yes, what? Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please. All right, I'll come now. What? You must leave now. Oh no, it's fine. I don't mind. Don't mind us. You don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott. Get out! The passenger said out, or you want me to throw you out? It looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. And so we lost our chance, having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. We were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Alright, and that's where we're going to call it today. We will continue it next Tuesday. So, with that, I do want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your time with me. I'm trying to exit the game, I really am. Never mind, it's still the same case. Yes, it is. And but with that, again, I do want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your time with me. Take care of yourselves. I will see you tomorrow where we are going to continue Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Until then, take care, everybody, and goodbye.